Hey there, hi there, oh there, my name is Thomas and welcome to the Second Star channel, the only channel on YouTube that combines the wonders of Disney with the artistic styles of jazz music. You know what, for this video we're going to do something a little bit different. Since I'm giving my opinion, I feel like I should talk to all of you face to face. That's better. So now with the announcement of Marvel Land taking over A Bug's Land, I'll list out my pros and cons for why I find Marvel Land to be a good thing, but could also be a bad thing. Without further ado, here we go. Now pro number 1. Marvel Land will be based off of multiple properties. A Bug's Land was limited to only one film made in 1998, and sometimes it would show there was never any growth in the land. It was based off of one film and it never changed. But with Marvel Land, it could be constantly changing. I mean, there's a reason why Disney has decided to do this in multiple phases. The first phase will be done in 2020, and we're not exactly sure what that means yet, other than at least the space for A Bug's Land will be taken over probably by 2020. But as Kevin Feige, the producer of Marvel Studios, has already stated, they have planned the next 20 movies after Infinity War. So I think it's safe to say that Marvel is far from being over. Now pro number 2, the rides can be built for an older audience. Now I don't know about you lost folks, but for me, I was only ever able to go on Heimlich's Choo Choo Train. And yes, it was nice to smell graham crackers and watermelon. The ride was very short and not very satisfying. But we've already seen concept art for a ride that we can already assume a Spider-Man type ride where we will have the feeling of swinging from skyscraper to skyscraper in Manhattan. And that looks very exciting. Now pro number 3. This will make Disneyland Resort a lot more unique than Walt Disney World. Due to the fact that Marvel has a contract with Universal Studios Orlando with their Islands of Adventure having a superhero island, Walt Disney World will not be able to make a Marvel Land. This could make guest experience so much more unique at Disneyland Resort, and that is a big plus for all of us fans of Disney. And finally, pro number 4, this could be great at crowd control when Star Wars: A Galaxy's Edge becomes really, really crowded. Yes, I know Star Wars: A Galaxy's Edge is coming out next year, and this won't come out until 2020, but I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of crowd control that Marvel Land will be able to help with. So now that I've given my 4 pros, let's look on the other side of the coin and what I view as my 4 cons of having Marvel Land. Now con number 1, and this is very, very much my opinion, and it's okay if you lost folks have a different one. It won't be as immersive as A Bug's Land. Yes, I never spent a lot of time in A Bug's Land just because I was never young enough to have that experience, but walking through A Bug's Land was probably one of the best immersive experiences that I've had in any Disneyland. From the moment you enter in a cereal box with a life-size Woody next to you, and you're already able to scale yourself accordingly, and you go through and you see the Tower of Terror, the Hollywood Tower Hotel with the clover leaves and the grass sticking up, you finally feel like you are the size of an ant. And I think that is something really, really cool. But I don't think that's something that they could do with Marvel Land. A lot of Marvel's properties are set in New York, so there's not a lot of world building that they could do. I'm sure we could see some aspect of Ant-Man giving us that same effect, but with Wakanda, or with Queens, or with Asgard, we'll still feel like humans. We'll still be walking among these heroes, and we won't really feel like we're in their world. We'll just feel like they're visiting ours. Something I'm definitely going to miss from A Bug's Land. Now, touching on having a new land, A Bug's Land has a lot of little rides for small children. But trying to make a land that's more for older children and having more adult themed, these little rides were able to stack up on one another because of their size, because of the fact that the height requirement was so much smaller than, let's say, Mission Breakout. But having rides that are more geared to older children, to adults, that's going to limit space. Sure, they can make a simulation ride similar to what we've seen in concept arts for Ant-Man, But that won't really be the same kind of rides that we want. We want more thrill rides like Mission Breakout, like the Incredicoaster. Those rides are iconic because they're outside, because they're not a simulation, but the real deal. A Bug's Land is a little too small for that. And we've seen that over in Animal Kingdom with the Na'vi River Journey and with Flight of Passage. Those rides are great. I've heard many, many great things about them. I haven't personally ridden them yet. But one, Na'vi River Journey looks really, really short. And two, Flight of Passage is a simulation. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. But as someone who goes to Universal Studios pretty frequently, I love going to Disneyland Resort to not have to have simulations, but to actually have real rides. Con number 3. The first phase won't come out until 2020. So yes, Disneyland Resort is going to be very, very busy with the launch of Star Wars: The Galaxy's Edge in 2019. So what does that mean for guests going from summer 2019 to summer 2020? Will Disneyland just be unattainable? How will we be able to enjoy the atmosphere? Because it will be very, very crowded. Will every day just be sold out? I feel like this plan should have been something that was announced maybe at D23 last year, or maybe thought about. The only thing that I hope for Disney is that Pixar Pier really does take the same crowd that A Bug's Land and other park guests would want to go to. That they go to that land while waiting for Marvel Land to happen, and hopefully we could also get the same fans who would be going to Star Wars: The Galaxy's Edge to visit Disney California Adventure. Now, elaborating on my point, Disney Parks blog emphasizes that the first phase is coming out in 2020. Does that mean we will also see the removal of Hollywood Land and that'll become part of Marvel Land as well? We already see that there's character meet and greets with Captain America and Spider-Man, and also Black Panther, and also the Guardians in that little area. So is that going to become New York Land? As someone who was a big fan of the change to Buena Vista Street becoming 1930s style Hollywood, I will be very, very sad if they take all of that out just to add on to Marvel Land. And there you have it, lost folks. Hopefully you enjoyed my rant and my opinion on the pros and cons of Marvel Land taking over A Bug's Land. My community question for all of you is, now that we are having Marvel Land, what is one character that you want to see represented at Disney California Adventure? Let me know in the comment section below. Best comment will be featured in the next video. Like this video if you learned something new. Second Star is on a Sunday and Wednesday schedule, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because YouTube has been acting a little weird lately, so definitely want you all to see my videos. And of course, my name is Thomas. Make sure to keep those happy little thoughts, and I will see you in the next video.